Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Hey, I want to talk about Nikola Jokic, the center for the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to the Denver Nuggets. Give them their props for winning the NBA Finals for this year, 2022-23 season. They beat Miami in 5 games. Look like they dominated, throughout the playoffs. Now, I'm going to admit, I haven't watched a lot of basketball in the last few years. Ever since, Kobe, retired, and I ain't watched much. I watched a little, LeBron James, but I just can't get into this new style of NBA. So I guess you can call me one of the old fogies now. Talking about how we used to play the game, how we used to play on blacktops against guys that was in their 20s. That used to, a bump was not a foul. Them knocked to the ground was not a foul. You call a foul, you didn't get the points. Stuff like that. I guess I'm part of that era. But when I see videos of like LeBron, taking like 6 steps before he dribble or carrying the ball, it's not just LeBron. It's a lot of players, but I'm just saying, it just ain't the same. But anyway, back to Nikola, right? Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of basketball, but his name did pique my interest because I heard that he won like 2 regular season MVPs back to back, and then this year they felt he should have won it. But there's a lot of controversy. I think a lot of people was mad because he would have been the first person to win it 3 years in a row. That's one reason why I don't look at awards or don't even worry about awards that people got to vote for you to get, because this is all popping circumstance. It's all just people's opinions of how they feel today. It's like when Jordan played, you tell me a time that he shouldn't have got the MVP over a lot of the guys that got it. When Shaq played or when Kobe played, how you gonna get an MVP to anybody else really but them two when they was at the peak of their career? They should have got it like back to back too. Larry Bird, Max Johnson, Kareem, Wilt, people like that. It shouldn't have been like, well, last year we gave it to Jordan, so this year we got to give it to Hakeem Olajuwon or something like that. No, or who was it? Clyde Drexler. That's why Jordan was pissed off at Clyde Drexler, and that's why he beat him the way they did in the finals. Anyway, let's get back to Nikola. Like I said, I haven't watched a lot of basketball, but I've heard how this dude was playing, and so I watched a little bit of the finals. And this dude reminded me of a lot of skin Tim Duncan, like real fundamentally sound. Built kind of bad, you can tell he's out of shape. He's like he's 6'11", 285, something like that. I mean, if this dude had like muscles like Shaquille O'Neal or even David Robinson or even Tim Duncan, shoot, that cat probably averaging a good 30-something points a game, easy. But anyway, so I had to look up some of his stats. Let me see. It says, I already said 2-time MVP in the regular season, back to back. Got him a Finals MVP. That's another thing why I think this game be rigged, man, because they talked about him so much, and that's something I said when I heard it. It's like, I won't be surprised if he gets him a title this year. Because that was the biggest thing. That was like, how he gonna get all his MVPs and he ain't won a championship? But then all of a sudden he wins the championship. And this is something I say, like I said, I don't even watch basketball like I used to, but just hearing these conversations, I'm like, I won't be surprised. Don't be surprised if he get a title this year. And sure enough, he did. And this is why I think people that gamble are silly, because man, I think they got this stuff already mapped out. But anyway, continue. He made all rookie first team, 3-time NBA first team, 5-time All-Star. Let's see, this year he averaged 24 points a game, 11.8 rebounds, 9.8 assists, 63% shooting from the field, and 82% shooting from the free throw line. He played 69 games. So, I say I'd like to just say this, start off with this. Here's my point. The reason why I say that he could become a problem for a lot of the American-born black athletes, and it's just not him. Let's talk about the the Greek freak. I can't say his name. Like I said, I don't watch much basketball. Let's go back to Dirk. Let's go back to even the guys that played, back in the day with Deadly Shrimp. And was he from like Germany or whatever? Like the players that had to come from overseas. Started then. The Yao Mings. And like I say, but Dirk kind of set the bar. Because Dirk played hard, was fundamentally sound, and was a dominant player. But he can kind of be overlooked because you still had like LeBron, still had Kobe, still had Shaq, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. You still had these other guys, let's just say black athletes who still dominating the game. Still dominating the game, and still dominated by black athletes. But Dirk was no slouch. Dirk won him a title, with the Dallas Mavericks. Dirk, I believe, he got a statue outside of the American Airlines Center. But Dirk, he had a coach that he would bring with him everywhere he went. So that tells you his mentality for taking his craft serious, whether he liked it or not. Like this Nikola Jokic guy, what's interesting is after the game, and they did their interview, they talked about how he really didn't celebrate on the court. He didn't do all the jumping around, dancing. He did more talking to the NBA, to the Miami Heat players, consoling them, telling them congratulations, good, everything, this and the third. Like good sportsmanship. When they asked him about how did he feel winning a title, he said, feels good, feels okay. And that was about it. Then when they asked him about a parade, he turned to someone and said, what is a parade? And they told him Thursday. And he was like, no. He said, man, I got to get home. So he's not even excited about a parade. He ain't excited about celebrating. It lets you know that he's not really passionate about the game of basketball, but he's good at it. Kind of like Hakeem Olajuwon. You think about Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, them guys, from other countries or other continents. They play other sports, were great at other sports, but someone saw that, hey, you could probably dominate basketball, because them American players, they don't take it serious. They got all the athleticism in the world, but they think because they're so good, they ain't got to take it serious. Y'all can go over there and just clean up. And they did. But you got little kids around here play basketball from the time they 4 and play basketball their whole life, sun up, sun down, trying to get to NBA, and then they make it. And what did we get? We don't get Kobe. We don't get LeBron no more. LeBron might be one of the last of his kind. We're gonna get Ja Morant. Now, Jokic played, 3 years overseas and then came here in 2015. First year averaged, 10 points, and has averaged nearly 20 points or more since. He doesn't seem like a guy who's passionate about the game, but he seems like a guy who has been told, you could dominate this game. You can go over there and make a lot of money. You'll be good at it. Make millions, and then bring it back home, which is what seems like he wants to do. And that's why, and I say that's why this could be a problem for a lot of black athletes in the future if we don't stop them now. We don't stop the Ja Morants. We don't stop the Pelicans. Goddamn, I just did a video about them doing all that tricking with these strippers and Instagram models and porn stars. We gonna get them guys now, people that's younger than them, and get them back to the fundamentals of basketball or any sport or any kind of career. Teaching them like, hey, you're good at it. And there's some people always say, like, if you got a talent and you're good at something, what's wrong with perfecting it, making a living off of it? Like if you can draw, you're an artist. I mean, hell, if you're good at, HVAC or building or driving or fixing cars, anything, or go to college and you're good at debating, you want to become a lawyer, whatever, good with hands, love taking care of people, want to get in the medical field, whether you like it or not, if you're good at it, utilize it. If you're good at doing hair, utilize that skill to make money, to maximize your income, but you can also be using it to do to try to build something else so you can get out of it, and then go do something that you want to do. But if you got a skill at something, you learn it, you perfect it, you take it serious, you go out there and you dominate, you become a perfectionist, and then you just show your craft, and then later on you can teach others, and like I say, you can retire and do something else. But you got kids, like I said, we're talking more about Ja Morant and a toy gun more than we're talking about Ja Morant's skills. What did he average? I wrote that down. 26.2 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, 8.1 assists, and that was in 61 games. So the dude got skills as a guard, or whatever position he played, I don't know. But we're talking more about him flashing guns, beating up little 17-year-olds, then we're talking about his basketball ability. And what's going to happen in the future, because see, we got this idea that in America, being American sport basketball players, whether it's WNBA or NBA, we'll play over here. If this dries up, we mess this up, that's fine. We can go to China. We can go to Russia. We can go to Turkey. And we can play over there and make a lot of money. They'll pay us a lot of money. Maybe not NBA money, but they'll pay us a lot of money to play over there, and we can just keep our game going. We can just keep our money coming in. But when you got people like the Joker, who lives over there, because what's happening is those kids over there are learning the fundamentals of basketball that this country started. So eventually, like with any other thing, it's going to catch up. They're going to catch up to the skill set. They might not can't fly, and dunk and all that, but right now the game is getting turned into a 3-point competition. You don't think them white boys can shoot 3-pointers? Shout out to American-born Larry Bird, Deadly Shrimp, and John Paxson, Steve Kerr. Them boys could shoot 3-pointers with ease. Pistol Pete Maravich, he shot from half court all the time. They didn't have 3-pointers back then. But my point is, it's turned into a 3-point basketball. And you see like these little kids now learning how to dribble. Remember what's the name? White Chocolate, Jason Williams. Don't get it twisted that non-black people can't play your sport. They hang around you long. They may not have the athletic ability as a purebred. I say purebred. Good Lord, sound like an old slave master, but no, like a black American or a black African, whatever. They may not have the physical abilities, but they learn the game. Anybody learn the fundamentals, they can beat you. Look at Duke. Remember Duke, when Duke was dominating basketball, they had fundamentals. They didn't have the most athletic players. You had a mix of black, whites, and anybody else. But they was always in the Final Four because they learned fundamentals. Coach K kept them for 4 years. They played as a squad. New England Patriots, same thing. Fundamentals. I don't know about football gate, or what do you call it, air gate, or whatever it was, spy gate, whatever it was. But when you can keep people long enough to learn fundamentals of anything, you have a great team. So you got players in other countries learning these skills that we taking for granted. So once Ja Morant, when you look at the statistic right now, I don't think it's looking good for the NBA, because I know like when the games are on during the year, even during the playoffs, I would get notifications on my phone. But for the finals, I got no notifications when the game started. People had to tell me like, oh man, did you see the game last night? I say, what? No, I didn't. The game come on 8. It do. I didn't know. But like I said, I would get notifications for like sports events, football, basketball, NFL, NBA. But for the finals, I didn't get it. It's like they really wasn't pushing. I think they wanted the Lakers and the Celtics to go just for nostalgia. But this dang Jokic, this dude's a dominant player, man. Like I say, he's fundamentally sound. So like I said, right now, it ain't looking good for the NBA. But as time goes on, you keep getting problem childs. Keep getting these young kids out of high school. But I know Ja Morant, when he didn't go to college, he was undrafted or whatever, and he came in, and that's what happened. You get a lot of money. Now he don't know how to act. Probably got like a chip on his shoulder. But people like Michael Jordan had chips on their shoulder. People like Kobe Bryant had chips on their shoulder. And you see how they played. Ja Morant wanna go out to, there ain't nothing wrong with going out, and doing whatever, having fun. But when you make the same mistake twice, hang with the same people that got you in trouble the first time, that's what the problem is. So as time goes on and money changes and NBA ain't making the money they used to, or they see they can make enough money to survive. When they take this, like I said, with a global game, they want to get global because they knew they were losing money. The problem is those going global players will come on here to get big money, but you wait until them Iraqi, them Saudi Arabian oil men start investing in their own basketball leagues over there. You see what they doing with soccer, football. They paying these players $200 million, like for just a few years, to play that sport. Now, once they start learning this basketball, and they players start getting great and just as exciting. Like I say, it ain't a dunk contest no more. Kids don't even go to the slam dunk contest no more. It's a 3-point shooting contest. Okay, anybody can do that. So then once they can get their own people over there to play over there, and they want to start their own leagues, how much money you think they're gonna pay them? And then now you're gonna have players over here that's wanna go over there, but they probably ain't gonna let you go over there. Most likely they won't, especially us. Now, some of us, like I said, some of our former NBA players, basketball, college players and WNBA players, they go over there and play, get paid $1 million, $2 million, whatever, to play ball. And that's fine. But it's not gonna be the same once the rules completely change. Especially if they got too many problem kids in the NBA, the powers that be is gonna be like, look, we can't deal with this. We're gonna have to cut ties. We got to change the rules. We got to do something different because we can't have these kids messing up the game for the money. The people that buy the $500,000 tickets, most of them, they don't look like us. They don't look like me. Let's be honest. So when the people with the big money start really complaining, and the ones who spend the most money start really complaining, things are gonna change. So I just implore all you coaches, all you dads, stepdads, get these kids back to fundamentals. Even if they're great players, they want to act up, sit their butts down. Don't be like, well, Johnny's 6'4" in the 6th grade and playing AAU ball, and we, the 12U squad, we dominating everybody. Johnny ain't been to practice in a while. But anybody else, I say, if you don't come to practice, you don't start. But Johnny come in when he get ready. But like I say, he's 6'5", 6'6". Johnny gonna play. Can't do that. Can't do that. They gotta have values, structure, discipline. That's what's gonna keep us in the game. You gotta see what's coming. Problem is we don't see what's coming. Hell, we don't watch the news. We don't look at economic reports. We don't pay attention to politics. None of that. All we want to do is worry about is the here and now. What can I get today? And this works for today. So let me keep this like this is. But then when tomorrow comes and you see how people done pass you up, because this is one thing, and I'm gonna end with this. When I was coaching softball, I used to coach my girls. I would tell them they were good players, like real good players, and they would. Let me just talk about my oldest one because that's the easiest one. So, left-handed pitcher, first baseman, hit 600 easy. You know, but she grew up with the game. Because when I started coaching, she was like 6, 7. So I started coaching. I would teach her and I would learn it. So we learned the game together. So anyway, as she get older, skills got better. She was, taking people's spots. She got to the point to where I think she almost got complacent with it. And I should tell her, look, you need to keep practicing. Practicing hard, do different things, keep your skills up. She was like, oh, Dad, I'm not going to pitch today. I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't pitched in a while. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just playing first base, whatever the case may be. Okay. But she was skilled, but she did not realize that you was skilled because you're out there playing and you learn it and you're going against people with your same skill set or even better or lower or whatever around the same skill set. That's what's keeping you up. But she started to get the big head. I don't think it really was her. I think it was really her mother got the big head, saying how good she is and team needs her and this and the third. But I would tell my youngin and her little sister, you might have took somebody's spot, but the person's spot you took, they're going to want to get it back. Their parents going to want to get it back. They're going to practice every day. They're going to send them to camps. They're going to play on different teams. They're going to play up. They're going to play year round to come and take your spot. So you can sit where you at right now if you want to. That's what you want to do. Okay, it is what it is. But mark my words, it will happen. You will get caught slipping. And the moment you get caught slipping, somebody gonna take your spot. And it may not even be as skilled as you are. But just because of how a lot of them people are, they can't wait to find a chink in your armor, because the moment you slip, they're gonna replace you with somebody else. Luckily, it didn't happen because I just kept on it. Or neither one of them. It didn't happen because I kept them on it until they got done playing. But I see it all the time. As soon as you slip, unless you just like 20 times better than them, you're not gonna get in. You know what I'm saying? They can't wait to kick you out. So that's what I'm saying with these youngins. They got skills. You know what I'm saying? You got the ability. Don't take it for granted, because the moment you do, and the moment you do silly stuff and you start slipping, they're gonna find somewhere to take somebody to take your place. But anyway, that's all I got. Tell me what you think. Like I said in the beginning, shout out to the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, and that whole organization for winning their first title in league history since the inception of the team. And you wouldn't even know it unless somebody told you, because they ain't trying to hear all that. But tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.